Okay, so today we're going to take off the steering wheel. I'm going to replace it with a nice wooden one that will match the dash. Here I've got it all, it's not really bolted in, but it's mocked up. Here's what our wooden dash is going to look like. So we need to get this nasty old rubber thing off of here. And so there's a lot of references out there about how to take the steering wheel off. University Motors, which is like the preeminent expert in all things MGB, they suggest that you take one hammer and you put it over the top of it, and then you hit the end of that hammer with a bigger hammer, or as I refer to, my BFH. Well, I tried that a few times. You can see the trick with that is, if you're going to try that technique, is you want to back up the nut so that it's flush with the end of the shaft. And what that will do is it'll protect the threads on both the nut and the shaft. If you just hit the nut, you can strip the nut. It'll bend the nut, and then the threads will get stripped. If you just hit the shaft, then you can mushroom out the shaft, and then the nut won't come off. So either way, having it matched in the middle, you have less chances of having damage. But I've seen other videos where guys just can't get that to happen, and they put pulley pullers on it, and they bend and break all kinds of things to get it off, and it doesn't come off. But probably one of the most informative videos that I've seen is a couple of gentlemen who they get out and they with an air hammer. They're working out in the woods, restoring MGs that are dilapidated and all rusted out. In this case, this MG was in a barn for over 20 years, so it has a lot of rust and a lot of weather and a lot of problems like that. I think the University Motors solution is probably the best solution for vehicles that are well maintained, kept in a garage, and their daily use. They don't have a lot of problems with exposure to weather and rust and whatnot. Although almost all MGs are rusty. But anyway, that method with the air hammer is what we're going to do today. Basically, you take an air hammer and you jack it in the middle, and instead of just hitting one or two times as hard as you can, you're hitting hundreds of times within a few seconds, and it creates, it really breaks free the rust from the splines and the shaft behind the splines. So what we did is we went ahead. I was like, okay, well, I don't have an air hammer. So this air hammer right here, I bought it on Amazon for $16, including free shipping with Amazon Prime. So it was one of those things where it's like, well, hey, don't want to spend too much money on it if I'm not going to use an air hammer all the time. But it's a great solution. We'll see how it works. I'll continue the video after I get someone else on the other end of the camera. There it goes. Okay. So $16 and a little bit of WD-40, and then you have the nut is protected. Don't worry about it being all bashed. And by having the nut in place, we know that the threads are protected. And off comes the screwdriver. Now, I'm sorry, there's the steering wheel. You can see where it was connected, it's got splines. And these splines are not the only thing that get stuck. If you see in the back, behind the splines, there's like a shaft here. That gets rusty, and it comes after the splines, and it will hold on just as hard as the splines. Now, University Motors technique, I'm sure it's very effective for cars that are kept in the garage or active cars that are running every day and they just need to have an adjustment. But when you have an MG that's been in a barn or in a field somewhere and you're trying to recover it, this is the method. $16 air hammer from Amazon, and a little bit of torque on there, and you can pull that steering wheel off with no problem.